Hey moddies, we're going to repaint, or we're going to remove some paint on an old shell today, and we're going to repaint it. Now this is how it's turned out, so I thought what I would do is I would give you a little bit of a rundown and some tips in case you wanted to follow through with me. What we're going to use is we're going to use dot 4, so dot 4 brake fluid. Now it does work, but you need to be a little bit careful because what it can do is it can cloud your shell here. Now I did get a bit of clouding on my shell. Now it's not too bad because it's very light clouding and it's very light scratches when you're scrubbing it off. The paint that you use will actually fill the holes on it and it doesn't come out too bad. So as you can see here, look, the paint, it does have a little bit of clouding, but it's actually not come out too bad. You've got to also be careful of what colours you're going to choose. So one of the things I did was I chose to go from purple, which was the old colour, to white. Now white is going to help with that shelling. It's got a bit of speck through it, you know. You can kind of choose the colours appropriate to know what it's going to turn out like in the end. So first tip, choose the colours to repaint. Go with a light colour. It's going to make it much less apparent that you've resprayed it, and it's going to turn out much better. You're going to need a lot of these little ear cotton buds. This is going to help you get right in and close to the areas of paint which is a little bit difficult to wipe off. You're going to need your brake fluid here as well, and you're going to need some toilet paper, or you're going to need some paper towels, because what you're actually going to do is we're going to lay that on there, and that's going to hold the brake fluid to the body shell. Here's the quick video of how it's done. I hope you like. Share with your friends. If you've got an old one, give it a shot. You can always buy a new one, but this is a little bit cheaper. Brake fluid costs about $10. Your earbuds and your toilet paper, you know, you should just have them lying around. Here's how we go. Today, people have been asking me how can I get old paint off my RC. Now there are things that you can get for paint removals from Tamiya and those kind of people, but you can also use brake fluid dot 4. Now I've got some here. That's just Castrol brake fluid dot 4, so you get it from your automotive store, or any good service station might even sell it. But look, go to your automotive store and pick up some brake fluid dot 4, and I'm going to show you how we just remove it very simply. Put it on, wait a couple of minutes, and it should just wipe straight off. So I've got an old shell here I bought off a mate. Now the one thing you can't do is when you buy it off a mate, you can't have the same shell, you know, the same colour, so it's quite easy to repaint your shell. But the first thing you have to do is remove the old paint that's on there. So what we're going to do is just going to line it with some hand towels, and what that'll do is that'll allow the brake fluid to sit on it and stick to the paint on the inside, which is going to help with it cure the paint, or unsecure the paint, I guess. So we just put a little bit on like so. Bit on the other side. We get some nice coverage all the way around, which is fantastic. Now the brake fluid here, you can use quite sparingly. This is a brand new bottle, so we use that quite sparingly. Make sure we tuck it all the way into the corners. Alright. Now we leave that for about 15-20 minutes, and we come back and we'll wipe it off. We may have to do it a couple of times, but we'll see how that goes. Alright, so that's 20 minutes. Now we'll take it off and we'll rinse it, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, well that's definitely worked. As you can see though, there's still parts on there that it hasn't got to. So what I think it's going to take a few goes but that definitely works, and that just washed straight off. So what we'll do is we'll soak this a little bit more, and then we'll come back again, maybe 3-4 more times, and then we should be sweet. So we've gone through a few coats. The more coats seems to be the better. A good idea is to actually, you can reuse the same paper that you've used each time, and what happens is, because that's still got the brake fluid on it, so you can just reuse that and redo it. You know, it's got a bit of paint on it, but that's fine, it's got the brake fluid on it. Now the other thing to do is also to use the actual paper that's got it on there to rub it. Also use a scourer, which I've used. Now try and avoid the windows, which usually doesn't have all paint on it anyway, but you can use that to get the body parts off, and that works quite well. Dab it into some brake fluid as well, and then just use that. It's going to take a bit of elbow grease, but it will come off eventually, and then you'll be able to have a brand new body with no paint on it, and you can start again. Okay, so as you can see, I have managed to get most of the paint off. Dot 4 is doing the trick. What I've done is I've just put a few extra ones on there at the moment, a few spots that missed. Just sort of put a few on there, and I'll give it another 20 minutes and we should be able to have a look at it. Now you do get a little bit of clouding, okay, so clouding, small scratches, it does a little bit to the Lexan body, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use some of this cutting compound, similar to what you use on the shine of your car, and I'm just going to cut it a little bit. I tried it on a little bit of other plastic and it's actually come up quite good. You can probably see it here. So this one was clouded in here. I used it and tested it on here and it was clouded, and it's actually come up, you know, you can't even notice it. So we'll try that on here and we'll see how it goes. We have a fairly clean body kit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wash it, and then I'm actually going to use some of this cleaner here, and we'll just go over any little small bits that we've missed, clean it off, should be ready to paint. Now at this point you don't have to, but I've chosen to use some cutting compound and polish to smooth out the inside of my shell and get it ready for painting. So here we go. I've removed all of the paint. It's actually removed quite nicely. There's a little bit of glue on the front here, unfortunately, where I had the lights, but look, you're going to get that. I think it's going to come up alright. Now you may see the clouding, so you can see the clouding in there, but what should happen with the paint, maybe this will show you, is actually when it goes onto it, the paint's going to fill all those cracks and you're not going to notice them. Now it was a good idea to just cut and polish that a little bit, because you want the cracks to be as small as possible. Big scrapes is always going to be an issue, but small ones should be fine. I normally will actually scuff up my new shells anyway, just to get the paint to stick a little bit better. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to give it a quick wash now and we'll tape it up and we're ready to paint. Just quickly, one of the reasons why I know that the paint should fill it is because when I actually put water in there, the water fills it and it gets rid of some of that cloud. There is going to be a few parts I think this part on the back here is going to be a bit of an issue. But we'll have to paint that and see how it goes. But you can see in there, when it's filled with water, that scuffing doesn't come up, or that those clouds don't come up. So we washed it now, we'll go and tape it, and then we'll come back and paint and see what the finished product's like.
Please hang up and try again.